Hello, I'm Wayne Visser and I'm Director of CSR International, and I'm here today with Vinay Somani, who's founder and trustee of Karmayog. Welcome.
Thank you, Wayne.
We're here today in Mumbai. Can you just tell us what Karmayog is and what it does?
So we began Karmayog 6 years ago. It's based on the concept of the Gita, which is that we should all try to do selfless service without wanting returns from what we do. And so based on that concept, it's basically a sort of portal, so to speak, which will enable people who want to serve society and those who are already serving society to be able to interact with each other. So it's a meeting place for all types of different stakeholders: citizens, media, government organizations, corporates and NGOs, etc.
Now, just to give us an example of how it operates, you were telling me earlier about when there were really bad floods in Mumbai. One of the things that you did then. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, that actually was a very useful experience and interesting experience for Karmayog, because we have a directory of all the NGOs in Mumbai, about 1400 NGOs, as well as about 2500 volunteers. And when these floods hit Mumbai, which actually was basically a huge downpour, but because it was in such great force that it caused the flooding of the entire city in 2005, we started getting a lot of calls from different organizations and individuals wanting to do something or who were affected. And in that process, while interacting with the government agencies, we acted as someone in charge of an NGO coordination committee. And we realized that that process worked very well, because for a lot of information, you need information coming in very rapidly from all sectors that are affected, and you cannot really wait for when a TV crew will reach somewhere and then report on it, or when government authorities or people will reach somewhere and do that. And in that process we realized that it is very much needed that different things that the government is working on, or when there are situations like this or even otherwise, you need the involvement of all stakeholders. And then when the floods had abated and relief and rehabilitation processes were on, we expanded this group into an NGO council and also started working very actively with the municipal corporation and started looking at some of the issues. So one of the first issues that we all looked at were the solid waste rules for the city, because the city of Bombay, as it was called then, and Mumbai now, did not have laid down rules regarding garbage. And garbage takes all sorts of forms, from food, from plastic, from paper, and coming from all sorts of sources like new construction, etc. And in the process of having meetings and getting inputs from not only government authorities but also from NGOs who had been working in the area, or corporates who had certain skills to lend, and individual citizens and resident associations, we all could actually come out with a new set of rules for solid waste. So that was very enthusing for us. We then expanded that into a new set of rules, again through the same process, which we call the Local Area Citizen Group, LACG rules. And the basic realization from all this was that you cannot ignore the ordinary citizen's inputs, because it's the ordinary citizen who's experiencing all these problems, and many of them actually have suggestions for solutions. And if instead of that you would have people who have some narrow expertise, however deep it may be, on a particular issue, and they form a committee or give them that assignment or have consultants or whatever, they are of course good in what they do, but they cannot be holistic. And in complex democracies like India, and I say complex because everyone has a right and everyone's very vocal about their rights, and we are so many people that unless you get rules which are practical, doable, which will automatically get citizens to conform because it's in their good, then without that, laws are not going to be um, you know, that workable.
Now, one of the areas you've also tackled through this process is corruption. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so one of our realization was that even after you have a set of rules which have come about through this, but still you do need to tackle corruption, because there is a lot of corruption in India, and at even levels where the a daily individual has to sort of an individual faces that almost daily. And so we entered into a program called the Mumbai Pact Against Corruption, MPAC, with the Anti-Corruption Bureau in Mumbai. Anti-Corruption Bureau is not even known by many people to exist, and in the course of that year-long program, many innovative things happened. For instance, they would have a mobile van which would go and park itself outside government offices, and so people who are regularly using that government office could then find out what is it that ACB does, what are the ways in which one could formally complain against corruption, etc. Another outcome of that, when we interacted with citizens and even with the government departments, was that we could come up with a new form, which is the corruption ROCO form. ROCO means stop, so it's stop corruption, but ROCO in our case also means report on Karmayog online. And we had that form. The form's up on our website since then. It's a form which allows people to actually report their true corruption incidents anonymously, or if they choose to, with their name. And it's really interesting to see the types of incidents that people have put in the form from all over the country, because it gives not only the complaint, but why they had to do it, and what are their suggestions for government. So for any government officer which is looking to seriously tackle corruption in the department, it's a very important form, because another thing that we've realized is the mechanism for government to interact with civil society or ordinary citizen actually doesn't exist. The citizen is too scared and doesn't have the time, and the government is not bothered. So that's been a very thing. We expanded that form by making a different form called WARN, which is Write a Report Now, which also enables individuals to report on similar problems that they face with the private sector, and that too has been flooded with complaints. And these forms are very interesting because all of these are publicly displayed, and people who have had these experiences also would then get back either to the individual or to us, because we've got a large group, a 61,000 member group, which discusses things, and all these are also circulated daily. So it enables a lot of interaction between people.
All right, well, sounds good. Thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you very much, Wayne.